test. Will, can you hear me? Can you guys see me? Okay, you should be able to. We are live and we're jumping in here to an amazing reveal of this machine. I say amazing because not because of anything I'm going to say or so much of really what I personally am going to do. It's going to be based on what this can do for you. It's really tremendous. So I'm looking forward to sharing it. We're going to jump right in here and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. You can all see the machine. How's everybody doing this evening? What's going on, Jer James? Awesome. So Jer James is a user there of the machine. So this is almost like double dipping for Jer James. Appreciate you, Van Man. What's going on, Van Man? So let's jump into it and let's kick this thing off. How's everybody? All right, let's go. So I think this is there we go. We'll click into it. So how many of you guys feel like you're maybe late to the moves in the market? Anybody? Has anybody ever felt that way? Or maybe how let's see, because I remember when I was first starting in the market, I used to feel like I would miss all the things that would come out. And so today we're going to talk about here's how you don't miss those things. Here's how you're going to, in one click, put your analysis 100% on autopilot. Sit back and let the machine uncover your first or next trade in the stock market for you. Now, we've grown a YouTube channel, as you guys could see, and we just hit 27,000, I think it was today, of over 25,000. And it's not just, that we have good content or things like that. It's really what's tremendous is how we've seen the stocks move and how we've seen the returning viewers continue to come back. 10,000 on average per day. And this was a screenshot from, is that January? So we've seen even more of a consistent trend. And there's a reason for that. Hey, what's going on, FB? Good to see you. So repeated results. I think our channel has one of the highest success rates. Now it's hard to measure because there's so many channels, but we don't focus on the hype, really. We focus on the value. We focus on the integrity of the stocks. And so by doing that, we found a tremendous feedback from investors. In fact, our top viewership is from Wall Street, London, and Los Angeles. So isn't that cool? We even see some testimonials here. There's one from Charles, $1,200 gain in the live trades over 2 weeks using just 5,000. I don't know if you guys, has anybody had similar experiences? Let me know in the comments. And we've even been able to, one of our cool recent things that we got to do, a little bit unrelated, but we got to meet Jack Selby. That was really cool, from the Graham Stephan show or the Iced Coffee Hour. We also were invited out to go meet another very large finance channel there. That was Ricky Gutierrez. We got to go, he gave me a ride in his GTR. That was cool. I'd never been in one of those. So we've done it without hyping stocks or without unfulfilled promises. And sometimes it feels like Wall Street has an edge and that you're going to follow hype because you're catching something early, right? But a lot of times that's something that comes out before you find it. And just the insights of integrity is our focus and not the scummy stuff that you just don't even really want to focus on. And in fact, we've turned down over $100,000 from monthly promotional offers without stomach turns and without regrets. And that's turned out to be a great decision because after turning down those sellout deals, we recently accepted a partnership to work with Robinhood, garnering 1,000 times more exposure than we ever imagined. Some of you guys may have seen the ads. In fact, we're going there this next Tuesday to do some work with them as well. So today is the world debut of the machine. So really excited to drop it for you guys and get into the future of stock investing. So again, if it feels like Wall Street has an edge, how many of you feel that way? And you're always pushing to catch up. I felt that way before, and it basically pushed me to want to learn the skill sets to be able to not feel that gap. But the problem is, even when I learned that skill set, there was still a technological thing that I had to have on my side in order to get an edge. And so, wouldn't you agree that it's not about working always hard, but using better tools? I've lived by that. And so, let's go into it. Here is stock analysis as we know it. The normal stock finding system is, and I see Mark here says, hey, I see Bravo says, good evening. He says, yeah, the insider information. Vanman says, I've seen a bunch of Robinhood ads. Good. Yes, awesome. And so the normal stock finding system is that you build a watch list, you track and monitor, build the watch list, track and monitor, and you go through this cycle with every stock. And the problem is, you build the list, you pick the stock, you check the charts, you check the news, you analyze the financials, determine the profit opportunity, buy the stock, refresh and repeat. It can work, and it probably has. But the thing is until now, analysis automation has been designed to focus almost exclusively on just finding stocks. And what you'll see in this presentation today is a radical movement towards technology that is filling the gaps beyond just finding the stocks and is 100% designed to help you stop re-researching. Have you guys ever noticed how the market almost punishes hesitation? Have you ever hesitated to buy a stock and then it's gone up so much and you're like, man, why did I hesitate? Or you just didn't have all the information and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, but I just got to do a little more research and then you're too late. How many of you guys have been there? Now, if I could show you how to eliminate 90% of the guesswork in trading, would you pay attention? Well, if you're overanalyzing stocks, that's actually one of the top. My dog is barking. The FedEx. When the FedEx guy comes, you know she's gonna bark, and she's gonna scare everybody. She was freaking out about this awesome new technology we're revealing here. There she goes. So overanalyzing is one of the top investor mistakes, and getting too caught up in the noise so much that they miss a key event or catalyst oftentimes leads to failure. So analyzing stocks normally takes technology and human skill. But imagine if you could automate the technology and eliminate the human skill. Now, some people are saying, okay, well, this sounds great, but my disadvantage is I might not want to use so much technology. Well, what if I told you that the thing that you thought was your disadvantage, maybe you're being a small trader compared to the big banks, was actually a big edge that you have? And I'm going to show you how AI doesn't replace your judgment. It's just going to enhance your judgment. So what if you could get the software to do it all so you simply can wake up to deals? So wake up to this: what a stock is worth, where it's likely to be valued over the next month or next week or next year, and get a full analysis. Now you might look at this and say, well, that's just a line where it's going. That's just a line. That's just a projection. Well, what if this was a smarter model than having to look at all of the data and all of the charts? And then you could still do that, but what does the machine AI actually do for you? So you might wonder, what does it actually do? Well, if you have an AI engine working for you, it's essentially backing up your decision. So the AI models, they don't just pick stocks; they analyze markets with precision of Wall Street, and they have the discipline of a billionaire. They have the discipline of someone that can have no emotions, and the speed of supercomputers. So you don't have to. And then number two, the AI, it's multi-layered analysis and the big picture and the details. So that, like, imagine that you could remove the second guessing. How many of you guys see a stock, you like it, you know that it's almost there, but you just second guess yourself, and finally you're wondering, how can I finally trade with confidence? How much stress would that take off your shoulders if you didn't have to second guess your trades? Well, this scans global market trends, sector flows, and economic data. It dives deep into company fundamentals, revenue growth, profitability, cash flow, and debt, evaluates the competitive moat, the management quality, assesses current valuations, if it's underpriced, overpriced, screaming opportunity. And you don't have to read endless reports, earnings calls, news, all that model. Whatever model you have selected does the heavy lifting for you. So wouldn't you guys agree, like, confidence is just as valuable as capital? Like, you can have money, but like if you're not investing confidently, you need that confidence. And so this tracks institutional money, smart money moves, and it flags when big money is quietly accumulating or dumping shares, and it knows the insider happenings. No more guessing if the pros are in or out, because the model watches the giants, so you don't have to. The real-time signals and actionable alerts. So everything that we do is real time. So when it comes to, like, would you rather have a model that is going off of proven factual movements in the market, or try and reinvent the wheel and do something, or even have synthetic data? That's a problem with AI's synthetic data, it making stuff up. Well, we charge all the models with real-time signals. You get the right info at the right time without spending hours glued to your screen. And then finally, decision support. You know, if you're confident about a trade and knowing that you're not alone, and that your research also had an AI and a community helping you, wouldn't that make a difference? Of course. So this gives you the conviction to act without analysis paralysis. World-class analysis in plain English. So it's with one click. You guys see the power of this? With one click, you'll know why. So we've been noticing a trend, and technology is advancing, and it's changing the game, and it's making stock investing much easier. And our journey towards building the machine started a year ago with one very simple question. The question was, could we build an automated software that would find StockMate users more stocks that end up as profitable deals than our users were finding just ordinarily on their own? That was the question. Can we do that? And asking this question led to a StockMate research and development project. And it led to the birth of what we now call Mercatus. Now, Mercatus is this revolutionary new system that we've developed, and it is actually functioning with a team of world-class team members. Not only are we working with the best sources in the world and plugging them into the best models from sources that ordinary investors don't even see. We're talking about, yes, SEC data, yes, insider info, but what are the things that the hedge funds have access to? What are the things that you have to go through some loopholes and some legal stuff in order to get, that otherwise investors would have to go through headaches in order to access and have reasons to access it? What if that was considered, that type of information in real time considered by the best models in the world. And we wanted to know that. And we didn't want to create our own model. We wanted to create a place where you can use your favorite model and fine tune your favorite model. And so we allow the best models in the world to be added to Mercatus. In fact, we already have some of the best models in the world, the best. And I'm going to show you them right now. So answering that question of how we could find outlandish returns was just that first step in our journey towards creating the machine. This is the machine, and I'm going to explain everything and how that answer affects you and your success. And that's basically what the rest of the presentation is about here. So at first, we released Mercatus just to power the market view. So one thing, how many of you guys are like, I need to commit to learning which AI companies there are, or which markets there are. I can't miss that NVIDIA market, or I can't miss that that data center market, the quantum market. I can't miss that market. How do we identify those markets at the levels that we identify them at? Well, we're actually visualizing that and making it easy for you. So you can see it the same way that you would see, I don't even know, someone draws it out for you on paper, how companies are connected, is the same way that we're automating that process and building a market view so you can see emerging markets. So, and there's some really good comments here. I see Brebro says, I like it. Brebro's like, yes, totally. Let's do it. Eddie's literally barking. He says, woof, woof. AI says the crypto bros are going crazy. This is what they need, right? They need to stay away from the pump and dumps. I love it. Yes, so it's not necessarily algorithmic. It's actually more value-based, and I'll explain why. So now you see that market network. Do you believe that you can do this? Could you go through and look at different companies in different markets? Do you think you could see from a bird's eye view, click on a market and see which companies are there? Do you think you could do that? Of course you can. Now, if we're not identifying these great markets early, like quantum or AI or data centers or what have you, when? So the idea behind the Mercatus market view is pretty simple. Here's how it works. And this is important. You see, the new opportunities the market view adds each time weren't just random stocks. The system used predictive analytics and motivation targeting to find stocks that were likely to grow in the segment of the market that you were already searching. So essentially, it's like a smart market builder. And imagine the trail of opportunity there that you can discover. So you might say, okay, how did it go? Well, here's how we did. The simple answer is great. And I'm going to show you in a second here. So by tracking stocks from the market view all the way through to a complete analysis, we found that the market view stocks grew at a higher percentage than non-market view deals for average investors. That showed us that we were on track and that we could move towards the next step in our R&D project. So how many of you guys would like today to be your moment to be able to identify these companies? Well, it could be your day here. See, this brought us face to face with a much more difficult problem to solve. And instead of just making more markets, we wanted to know if we could create software that would produce a picture of the markets and expand that picture on autopilot. And I'm pleased to say that that's exactly what we're working on. And not only that, we have found that it's not going to be enough to just have AI do it. We need to plug in the best sources, and we need to have it basically get the things that otherwise it wouldn't have. So like if you go search on a model right now on ChatGPT, what have you, it's not even going to tell you the real time price. Maybe it will. It's not going to even know what trading went on today, what happened that will impact the next 6 months. It won't even know that there is a government shutdown today. It won't even know that the government shut down. So like there is things like experience and knowledge that it needs to know that an analyst knows. And it needs to have those skills to analyze the stocks. It needed to kind of act like me. So promise me, if you get nothing from my presentation and from our time together today, promise me you'll get this one thing. Whether you're doing the analysis or you're relying on 100x YouTubers, Redditors, TikTokers to do the analysis for you, you no longer need to spend years learning every nuance of stock analysis and investing in order to succeed. That's because we created a software that combined my 10 plus years of stock investing experience with an open perspective to all the newest and most powerful AI models in the world to do all the right things for you, whether you know to do them or not. And that brings us to number 2. You could get profitable stocks added to your watch list, buy them while they are undervalued, virtually on the go for a hefty payday each and every month. Now on the left, you might invest in, let's say, the S&P 500. If you invested $5,000, it would be worth about $5,400 by the end of the year. So about $400. Whereas if you would invest in the infrastructure for AI, let's say here a screenshot from one of my investments in NVIDIA. That same $5,000 turned into $29,000. So this works trading with 20 minutes or less a day, or longer term investing at $20 per day. There's even a screenshot back here years ago. I was working as a laborer, and I grew up, my dad was a general contractor, so I was always building homes. Actually, in fact, this place right here is a real estate rental unit that we recently renovated and will be renting out. You can even see the walls behind me and the kitchen behind me. I built it. So a while back, I used to even work in different construction industries. I mean, I was always really fascinated. It was before I went to school and also before I actually worked at an institution in Boulder and like learned finance and all that. But before that, I used to work at this solar company, and I was literally like paycheck to paycheck. I think I was making maybe $100 a day or something. Maybe it was years ago, right? And I would put $20 a day into NVIDIA, and I remember like struggling, and I would say, okay, I'm going to like not spend on lunch. I'm going to make my lunch at home. I'm going to, when I get off work, my wife and I, we're going to DoorDash, and we used to DoorDash, and I would never, ever, guys, I would never do this now, ever, even if I was at that point again. But we used to like eat the food from the DoorDash. Like they would order a pizza, and we would take some pieces of bacon off the pizza or something, like they might have one less chicken wing type of deal. You get in those situations, right, in life. And I'm not proud of it. I wouldn't do that, honestly. But I'll tell you, like, what I've learned and the integrity we have, we'd never do that. But I'll tell you, this right here was one of our best investments. I had an average share price of $13.26. And now NVIDIA, well, that was a couple months ago when I took that screenshot here on my phone. $124 a share is what NVIDIA is worth. And it was at 840% return, $18,000, just from that one decision that we made. So if you ever feel like you have an unfair advantage, just know there are things you can do to not be lost in investing. And we're going to go over more of it. So even if you made 58% market returns, a monster time with the market, if you're in a market with an AI company or the right markets, you're looking at returns of 3 times that amount, 4 times that amount. And there's a screenshot. This is from one of our members in StockMate. And this was the SPY versus their returns. So performing simple analysis of a company, took up the opportunity to enter a position, then watched as billions in volume flowed into the stock. So there's no fancy indicator, no big news catalyst, no complicated analysis strategy, just a stock with an undervalued status I identified it before buying and a proven strategy to generate the return. So would it be worth your time if in the next few minutes here, you could learn how to cut through the noise and finally have some clear signal on where the stocks are going and why? So the way that I've been able to build this, I went to school in a place when I was growing up. I lived near Tahoe in California, really close, just outside Silicon Valley, really. And we love to play sports, all this stuff. And there's my wife. We love to travel. We're actually going to Argentina next week. So I share this with you a little on the personal side. You know that this is our life now, and this is the difference between realizing investing and building the tools to get us there. So stock analysis AI automation is coming. And if I could prove to you that this works, even if you're brand new, would you lean in here? Flip the switch, let the system, and wake up to deals. Let the system run every day. So let's move from find stocks and show you how the machine gets the deals on autopilot, whether you're working or not. Okay, so if you want to analyze a stock with ChatGPT, okay, you want to analyze a stock with ChatGPT, you're going to get some analysis. And you could do the same thing with Meta. You could do the same thing with Grok, Google, DeepSeek, Claude. In fact, they all have like 20 different models or more, and they're adding models every single day for you to choose from. Now, look at all the models they have. They got all of these new AIs that are coming out from Google and from ChatGPT and Claude and DeepSeek, all of them. And so does that ever feel a little bit overwhelming? I'm tech savvy, at least I like to think myself as tech savvy. I'm not as tech savvy as some people I know, for sure. But like when I look at this, I get overwhelmed. Like, I mean, if you can have the tool, but like, how do I know I'm using the right model? How do I know I'm using the best model? How do you pick the best AI to use? And so what if you had a tool? You finally had a tool that just chose the best available model from these companies and made sure you're using the best available model. And you could search any stock you want and allow those models to do the research on your stock, and all the sources that these models otherwise don't have, you make sure that those models have those sources. Well, that's exactly what we have here with Mercatus. So let's jump into a little bit of a demo here. So the problem is you have models changing all the time. If you want to go find those models, you can. All power to you. But then you got to find the right sources. And so this goes beyond historical data. We put in all of the best data, but we also focus on where the future is going. And you can not only visualize your advantage with the market network, but see the same type of data that institutions use are now considered with the best models in the world. So let's jump in. I'm going to enter in with my account here, and I'm going to go ahead and visualize a market. And so the first thing you'll notice here is that you have the market network. So the market network is it's a network where you can visualize the different stocks. I can see the quantum market, in these companies and I can see that they're connected. I can jump over here to the AI companies and see that partnership with Palantir and Big Bear. I can go ahead and grab this analysis of a stock, click on it, and get the analysis. And we can actually do that right now. So let's actually, Rigetti has been on a run lately. Let's click on Rigetti. Let's see what's up with Rigetti. So as you can tell, there's a few things happening here. And actually, let me even take a step back. So this is, can you see so far how visualizing markets and how companies are connected? It's not about more complexity here, but it's actually about just simplicity. That if you can just click here and see how companies are connected and their different connections in the individual markets, that would be helpful. It's actually more simple. And so here's the next step. I can search with any model that we have available. We have OpenAI, and you can't see the top of my screen. Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, let's see. Can you see us now? Can you see the top of my screen? Cool. I think we should be good. So you can go ahead, see this search bar up here? I can search my favorite stock here, and I can click here, and I can actually see Grok, which is really good because they use X and all that real-time data. I can use Claude. So Claude actually is very thoughtful, and it has the analysis with nuanced financial insights. It's actually an interesting study on Claude that most users that use Claude are higher net worth than those that use Grok, which is interesting, but that Grok uses a lot of the real time from Twitter or X, so it's actually better on the short term, all these things. And so I can click on one of these. I could do Gemini, so Google's multi-model AI DeepMind engine, and I can use, when I select OpenAI, it's the best model that is available from OpenAI. So you guys see how this could be powerful for you in that you can choose the best models. So now I'm going in, I'm getting the premium model here on OpenAI, and I'm searching whatever ticker symbol I want. And now I'm searching it RGTI. Now, a couple things are happening here on the screen. First, you'll notice this loading that's happening. And the loading is essentially this future chart here and this analysis module. And you can tell they're doing the deep analysis. They're looking at the press releases. They're looking at the charts relative to the time frames that they're analyzing. And not only that, it's tying the relativity. And so this model here, it's getting us projections. We'll give it a second here as it loads up. It might take a minute here. Let's let it fully load. It might even shift a little bit as it's thinking. So let's let it think here. Let's give it a second. There we go. Okay, it's coming out with our projection here. It looks like it's loaded. So we got now this Rigetti projection over the next day. And you can see some of the projections. Now, next week, we're looking at a potential correction here on Rigetti. Would that make sense? Yes, that would make sense. We saw a massive parabolic move recently. So can you see how AI doesn't replace you here, but it makes your decisions stronger? And not only that, how many of you realize it's not about learning the tech? Like, yes, we can go here. Oh, look, next 3 months looks good. I can see all of the reasoning on the technicals, why that's the case for this projection over the future price over the next 3 months. But can you see that it's not about just learning the tech? It's about basically pressing a button and seeing an answer. Like I can jump in, and there's a few things we've added recently, really exciting stuff. These models, as I mentioned, consider things that other models wouldn't. We make the models super powered. So we take, for example, how many of you guys know the returns and the average instances that we see happen during a government shutdown? Anybody? Anybody know? Probably not. Maybe you know. The reality is, these are the types of data that otherwise would be hard to obtain. And now look at this. I can see all of the average returns of government shutdowns in the past, the market returns. I can see the analysis on the market, on the short term averages, the medium term averages, and which markets are getting impacted by the government shutdown analysis. So I'm getting market psychology. I'm talking about the least affected sectors, the longest shutdowns versus and how they reacted in the markets and the returns that we saw, some of the probabilities, the market impact and statistics around different shutdowns and how different markets have reacted during those shutdowns. So we're getting some of the top information. These models don't even know where to look. That's what I'm saying. And so can you see how, again, it's not about complexity here. It's actually about simplicity. It's not about having to go from article to article to article, because I can drag in the news hub here and get all of the sources constantly being updated. You can see them from today here within the hour on this company here related to Rigetti. And I can see Rigetti announcing purchasing orders of 2 quantum computing systems, 5.7 million. And I don't even have to do anything. I could change the stock here on the page and get my analysis here. So wouldn't it feel good to just finally have a tool that makes trading easier, not harder? You don't have to work harder when you get a tool. It actually makes it easier. I mean, that's like basically what we're doing here. So we also recently added AI chat. So the same way that you chat with an AI is the same way you'd be able to chat with any of the models you select. We got Congress Watch. We do have SEC filings. These are all things you could pull up for each stock, but that are considered in the model's projections, the model's projections that come out. And so I can choose any model. So do you see how much time this saves compared to staring at a screen all day for the charts? I can actually I don't have to know overall Fibonacci retracement levels in this, that there is a resistance at 136 that it could use as a support. I don't have to know here it recently pushed through through a $36 resistance. It may have moderate gains driven by positive sentiment. I don't have to go look at the charts in order to see that. Does that make sense? I mean, I could totally look at the charts if I want, but I don't have to look at the charts all day. Like, wouldn't you agree this structure beats the chaos of going through stock to stock every time? So how many of you guys see yourself using this in your trading routine, like starting this week? I'm using it right now. And so there's a few things we got. You can search any stock you want, search it up here, pull it up, get the analysis. We could see a slight correction. What are the reasoning why? What does the next 6 months look like? And a lot of people, when they hear AI, they're like, oh my gosh. I'm telling you, isn't this simpler than you would expect? It really is, actually. But what's going on the back end is not always simple. Like I mentioned, you don't have to go through, this is our Mercatus mapping. So this is the data that we get and we run it in for you. You don't have to go through the SEC filings and all that stuff. You just commit to your trading and investing. You can see what it goes through, and then you can believe it too, because you can see what real-time news is impacting, the SEC filings, the insider trading that's being considered, the advanced chart analysis, fundamental data streams, all those things for simple outputs. So exclusive data sources that supercharge our AIs that we use and other models can access. Now, we're currently adding even something now where you can get an average of all the model projections, which is going to be tremendous. And so I'm going to jump back in here to the slides here, and do you guys see like the power of this system? Does everybody see the sheer like capability of what this thing can do? Pretty cool stuff, right? So when we're looking at, if you wanted to analyze the stock with the other markets, you can, and you can get your projections, right? You can get your projections. And I'll tell you what, they don't do projections very often. In fact, they're not going to be considering the right data sources to get the right projections. And the best models are constantly changing. That's the problem with having all these different models everywhere, is one day Meta is better than DeepSeek, and where do you go? And we bring them all to you with the best models. So the truth about predictions, right? Even Warren Buffett has lost more trades than he's won. And even Michael Jordan missed more shots than he's made. Wayne Gretzky missed 100% of the shots you don't take. He said, you guys might have heard it, right? Basically, if you don't shoot the shot, you don't get to win the prize. And the truth about predictions is you don't need to win every trade. You don't need to hit every shot. You don't need to worry about anything crazy. Just know that one big winner can cover dozens of small losses. Success comes from the managing of the risk along with this tool, finding good deals, playing the long game. And here's how we apply this. So, for example, in StockMates, our daily life trading, we don't chase perfection. We build repeatable plans. You'll notice a lot of times we're excited when things are red. The profit calculator makes your risk and reward always in your favor. So the other thing we're adding and implementing into this is the profit calculator. And so the profit calculator is something where you essentially enter in your purchase price. You enter in your purchase price. Let's say it's $500. You enter your current price is $550, and you got let's just say 30 shares. And you can pull up and see as well where the profit would be and where the risk should be adjusted based on where you put your profit. These are all things that it might look a little bit complicated, but it's pretty simple stuff. It's really just getting practice and also kind of reading out how you're going to manage your risk and those types of things. So the reason I share that with you is because by following a plan, managing the risk, and using tools like StockMate and the profit calculator, along with this, you build the confidence to trade with clarity. And over time, that confidence compounds into results, and that's how you win. That's how you win in the market. So structure, wouldn't you guys agree structure beats chaos every time? That's how I see it, at least. I really believe like structure is the key. So flip a switch, wake up to deals. Here's what you get with the machine. You get automation number one, refresh your analysis daily. So it guarantees that the pipeline of emerging stocks are always refreshed, so you don't have to refresh. It eliminates that hesitation that you have to do more research. Automation number two, analyzes and auto deep dives for you, which guarantees the speed with real-time analysis that otherwise you can't find. Automation number three, automatically access powerful AI and let the system find short and long-term stocks for you. So automation number four here, you might be wondering, is our time worthwhile here that you've been here? I think, wasn't your time so far today worthwhile to be here? Did you guys learn something new that maybe you didn't know an hour ago? Anybody? Analyze the deals and project prices. You can run the financials, or you can have it run it for you. Uncover valuable companies, accurate analysis for real value. So the future of stock analysis and automation is finally here. And I want to invite you to become a beta tester of the machine. I see Eddie's here. Eddie says, wow, truly awesome, amazing. Elijah says, can we see more predictions? Of course. Yeah, we did. If you want to see more, we did some today in our session, our YouTube session earlier. Jim Jam, I see power. I want the power, Will. I love it, Jim. So I want to give you the power, Jim. Is that okay? So the question is, if you become a beta tester today, will you use the system, provide us with feedback, good and bad, and help my team and me change the way profitable stocks get found? If you answered yes, I want to, number one, invite you today to become a beta tester. And number two, join my team and me for a training day and setup to launch your machine next Thursday. So as a beta tester, I want you to flip the switch. And with our help, as we move the machine from beta to our full production for portfolios. So we're going to work with you, you'll work with us to provide the feedback to and insight and results. I'll run this similarly to how we ran the beta tests, the beta release of the market network. So we'll guide you through step by step, and as we make improvements, updates, and launch new integrations, we'll unlock everything for you for free. So this late Independence Day and into the late summer, and now we're into the fall, and then we had a late summer sale. The beta tester invitation was your only place to lock in future updates, and we're extending it here through into quarter four, as we're going to ramp up the features. But I'm also limiting the number of beta testers that we allow in the group. So the bottom line is my team is going to treat this beta test group with white gloves. That means you're going to feel like a king or queen because we're going to see to your success. Now, can you guys see yourself applying this, what I've been sharing? Like, even if you're brand new, these are the types of things. But I'm also saying, I'm literally saying, we're going to work with you. Like, we're actually going to make sure that you get what you're looking for out of the system. And the reality is, though, the government's clear that I can't make promises of success or financial reward. And well, this is stock investing, which I've been around long enough to know that nothing is guaranteed here. And everything worthwhile does take some commitment and work. That being said, do you guys kind of see how the software could pay for itself in one trade? Like, it's our goal here at Mercatus to do everything we can to give you the power to create a profitable portfolio. And this is no different because, I don't know you, whether you'll put in the work with my team to get up and running or not. So I can't say whether you'll make money, any money, or not, and you could even lose money. If you have half as good of the success that I've had in the initial beta and also all of the members that we've had come out with some testimonials, then you're going to find that this is going to be a game changer for you. Now, here's what I do know. We put my 10 plus years of experience and skill into the tool, and it makes up the machine. And if you want the future of stock analysis, my 10 plus years built into the software and our team to help guide you toward success, watching the presentation here today and joining me as a beta tester for the world debut of Mercatus could be the most important thing that you do all year. So you're probably wondering what it takes to become a beta tester and work with my team, and you're probably expecting the investment to be pretty high and maybe outside of your comfort zone. But here's the good news. I want beta testers who are committed to action. We do have a commitment deposit. So over the past couple of months, we've slowly been releasing tools, technology, and products that make up the automations of the machine. And individually, if you were to have invested in everything as it was released, you would have invested in your portfolio between $6,000 to $9,000. Now, the good news is we know that ultimately we plan to release the machine as a fully integrated analysis system. So what we did as we released other technologies is we always bundled them together with tools and bonuses and other products to keep the investments low. That way, no one has ever had to pay that full $9,000 to unlock the individual automations that we're bundling together here in the machine. So here's what we got going. Even if you invested in one or another of those automations that we released over the last year, this full integration of the machine makes becoming a beta tester today a complete no-brainer. So I've never offered a fully integrated package for anywhere near what I've convinced my team here to let me offer it today. And I've been offered some crazy numbers by investors to make this available only to a small handful of investors that want it just for themselves. But that's not my goal. My goal isn't to lock anyone out, price everything super high, and keep the machine technology for only myself or successful buddies, stock investors in good markets. The goal is to change the way that investors like yourself can find stocks and make returns by making it faster and easier and better. So our goal is to create the best and most simple system for finding deals that anyone has ever experienced. And that's why when people told me that we should charge a setup fee of $3,000 or $5,000 or as high as $1,000 a month to run the machine in just one market, I knew that I was onto something, because we're going to have a positive impact on the success of new and experienced investors. And that's why I've decided to release the beta test version of the machine today. And when you unlock the machine today, I'm going to waive the $5,000 setup fee in its entirety. And that's now $0. And I'm going to slash the monthly fee to $0 and roll everything into a new or existing Mercatus account. And we'll just start or keep your existing Mercatus subscription today, and I'll unlock the machine for you instantly. So here's how you start that. That brings me to the small beta tester commitment deposit and the investment today. So you won't pay $9,000 like you could if you unlocked everything separately. You won't pay $6,000 or even $3,000. I've slashed the setup fee to $0 and waived the monthly fee with your StockMate account. Your commitment deposit today isn't $2,500. It's not even $2,000. You can become a beta tester of the Mercatus machine. Let my team coach you through the entire setup and implementation, and unlock the Mercatus machine today for just one payment of $14.97. So how do you unlock it? We're going to get into it. So let's take a look at what you get. First, for the next 20 fast action takers, you're going to get full access to the machine in its entirety with all unlimited new models that we add. That's including Grok, including Gemini, including DeepSeek, or what's the other one that we just added? Claude. And there's OpenAI, of course. And you're going to get access to all the new models that we add throughout the whole year. So this investment is for a 1 year. It's annual. It's a license for 1 year, unlimited access to all the new features we add. Some of those features we add, like, for example, the averages of all the models and what they're saying, along with all of the new data sources we introduce. I was just doing like I'd have to pull it up, the SEC. I was talking with them and doing something related to an affidavit that we were going to request even more information at a real time. And there's new data sources we're adding, like dark pools, or even this government shutdown data that we had that we're importing and supercharging all the models with. And you get all of those new types of data that we add automatically in your account. Now, bonus number one, there are some bonuses that we have added. And it's because, as I mentioned, predictions are one thing, but having structure is what is going to give you high confidence in a trade that no matter what, if it's a short term, a long term, a day trade, a swing trade, you're going to have the confidence in the structure there in each trade. And so that comes down to StockMate. StockMate is our daily live trading sessions. We're there every day, Monday through Friday. You can join the community of investors there and get access to all of our targets for the week. So you get that. Value of $649, or if you're paying the monthly, it's going to come out to even more of an annual value of $29.97. And you're getting StockMate, or all the live trading, along with all of the learning materials, the community, my entries and exits, and a free t-shirt there as a bonus, absolutely free. Mercatus account data upgrade. So you get 25,000 stock analyzations and downloads a month. You're not going to use that many unless you have a team of investors that you're working with. So you do get access to 25,000. So how can you claim it? How do you get it? Well, the last two bonuses are unlimited AI models, as we mentioned, for the 1 year. And then the bonus number 4, you get virtual stock trading system, which was a 6-week Zoom class that we did. And you get all of those recordings of those sessions. So it's basically like entries and exits, everything you need to know about the asset allocation, so short-term versus long-term, a little bit of taxes. We also go into emerging markets and how to identify stocks early, things like that, how we find those stocks. How can you claim this? You can go to cash2assets.com/Mercatus, or you can also wait. What I'll do is I can drop the link in the live chat here so that you can sign up. cash2assets.com/Mercatus. And that will take you there. Let me drop it in the chat. There it is. Okay, so that link by Will Rich, I'll pin it as well, is available to click. You go to the page, you can see everything there as well. You can click unlock the complete system. It will show an order form there. And then you can click unlock the machine to complete your order. And it will take you through, and you'll enter your info, and you can join our live session as soon as tomorrow, but also get access to our training next week. So again, you get complete access to the machine. Team tickets. So do you guys see this that we just went over to, that we are doing a training next week? So others, I know, happily would pay thousands, right? You can see why. It's because today's deal is also a no-brainer. You're going to get all of the training days and team tickets. So if you want to bring someone else with you, you can, for our implementation training day. Now, there's also something really cool about that, which is we're going to be introducing some new technology. It's actually hardware that you're going to get, as well as a bonus, which I can't really reveal too much details about right now, as our team's just starting to work on it. But how many of you guys can already picture yourself using the machine on your next trade? And there's a question there on payment plan. So when it comes to payment plan, you can use when you go through the checkout, there is an option to do what is, I think it's called Klarna or Afterpay or Cash App or Amazon Pay. And you can also do Apple Pay. We have Apple Pay. So there's Apple Pay, and when you click through, there's PayPal. There's a PayPal Pay Later, so they can set up your Pay Later, and you can split it into probably monthly. I think that they go as many as monthly. Or you can do like 3Pay. Klarna is there as well. You can split it up. Some people say, I want to start with just the monthly on Klarna and get it all paid off over the course of 6 months, but get started using the machine right now. And so you can do that. You just go to the checkout page that's in the pinned comment that I just posted just now. And with that link, cash2assets.com/Mercatus. And then there's the Klarna and Apple Pay or Pay Later options for you. So bonus number 5 is again, the training day. So next Thursday, you can join us there. And yeah, James, so that should answer your question. Yeah, it is there, James. It's in the link. So the bonuses today alone are worth over $10,000. Again, lifetime access to Mercatus, unlimited AI models for the next year. If you go try and get one of those AI models individually, we could search it up, but literally Google, if I go Gemini, what is it? Gemini AI pricing. They have the tiers that we use. I mean, this is just Google's. Grok is more expensive. It's normally $249 a month, and theirs doesn't even have the real time. You don't even have the real time access to all of the data. But anyway, that's okay though. They're still doing some cool stuff, and it allows us to they have an amazing AI model. I mean, that's why it costs what it costs and why people pay it. But what I'm saying is, if you wanted to go get these models all individually, you would pay over $1,000 a month just to have the models. So the bonuses, again, they're worth over $10,000. And we do have a guarantee as well. And so our guarantee is that if you use the machine and you do not make, and you can prove that you do not make more than $500 using the machine, then you get a full refund. So there is a condition there, because this machine is the real deal. And we want to make sure that, I'd have to jump into our community or into our team Slack and almost pull up the testimonials here from all of the amazing testimonials that we've had from people. Like, I can pull up this one here. This person is up 104% over the last 3 months. This was 3 days ago. There was another one here. Let's see, that one, end of the year, is 25K. Oh, is that Jim Jam? Aren't you here, Jim? I think I saw Jim here. The other one that we saw was one of our recent, these are some of the testimonials that we grabbed. Check this out. This is from Shadow, I believe. Good morning, Will. We're going to be able to, and I'm going to have to move it around so you can read it. He says, good morning, Will. We're going to be able to add our stock list and watch list. So we're adding the watch list into the machine. That's really exciting. Also, before the market cooled off, my new all-time high hit 1.4 million. I'm up over 400K in 3 weeks. I'm excited to use this AI tool more. It's not as phone friendly. I just need to have my laptop set up. So that is one thing. We're adding the mobile app. But hey, would you go on your computer for the couple weeks or months until we get the mobile app so you can make 400K in 3 weeks? He's winking here at the end of the sentence, right? And so, that's kind of the idea, right? We have a bunch of recent testimonials, and we have some really good testimonials on the machine beta testers. And as we continue to launch all these testimonials here, there's been some really good initial feedback on this thing. And so here's another one there. David F is another testimonial. So I share that with you so you can kind of see the amount of focus we have on getting everything together for you. So again, you can go to the link in the description and realize, if you guys can picture using this machine in the next week, and it's going to give you more clarity than you had before, you can see that the AI makes it easier, not harder. So, that's, most traders they're never going to get access to this kind of edge until now. And so again, 30-day, there is the no hassle money back guarantee. All we ask is that you provide proof that you did not earn more than $500 profits while using the machine. It's gonna be hard to prove, potentially. That's why we have it there. but it's also super awesome. And some of the testimonials, like there's a testimonial from Jur James last week. He told me he was in one of these live chats that it paid for itself in the first day after, and he wasn't even working with a big account at all. So that's why we have that there. So it's there for you. If you guys know my sincerity, you know it's there. And how much is it total? You can click the link. In total, it's not going to be, like I said, it's not the 10,000. That's all the bonuses you get, like the stock meet, unlimited upgrades, the training day this next week. If you're in StockMate, send me an email, because we do have an offer specifically for StockMates if you're already in StockMate. Now, if you're not in StockMate and you're looking in and you want to get access, this is the fastest and most valuable path towards ownership of the machine over the next year. And you'll get access to StockMate too. You get the StockMate lifetime access. So that offer is available for the next 20 fast action takers. As I mentioned, we work individually with every person. So, I mean, if most traders don't get this edge, not only do they not get the edge, they don't get the person that's there with them. So you actually get someone there with you, which is us. Yeah, does that answer, Elijah? And Jim, thanks for tuning in. Jim, send me an email, or I'll send you back a reply there. Send me an email and we'll get it unlocked for you. Yeah, and we got it unlocked there for Tristan. Tristan, you got it unlocked, so we're good. We're good to go there. So it's a really powerful system again, but this is the deal, guys. Missing the cost of opportunities is going to be far greater than the cost of getting access today. I mean, don't you guys agree based on what we just went through? And I know how many of you guys can see you using the machine on your next trade. How many of you guys? I'm curious. You know, it's if this feels like the moment that you have been waiting for right now, wouldn't you just rather start instead of waiting for 6 months or more and like starting that you wish you started later? Let's start today. Let's do it. This is the special deal and it's showing up for you here today. Just go right now to that link. I think I'll pin it. I can resend it in the live chat. There's a link, or if you are not in the live chat, or you cannot see the live chat, you can go to Cash, TOASSETS, so cash2assets.com/MERCATUS. It would kind of spell Mercatus. It's pronounced Mercatus. And so you can go there, claim your license before we close this thing down. How many of you guys are ready to take the step today? Thanks, appreciate it. Awesome, guys. I love it. See some of the returns. You got some people that are in the stock mates. And Erwin, we don't do the Discord there. We don't do Discord. We do our own community. And you got an email. Erwin, I'll send you another email if you didn't get it. But go check your email. It's called, I think it's called Learning Journey. And then it will take you in, and then you can see all the investors. You can see the schedule for our live trading that's happening tomorrow morning at Market Open. You can add it to your Google Calendar there. It's in the same spot as the community, and you can see also like targets for the next week on the earnings. All that stuff is there. And you can also send me a message in the StockMate community there. And we found it's better, it's more secure than Discord, and it's also more focused on what you need versus just like all the hype that comes with Discord. So we don't do. Elijah, been wanting AI for retailers. After all, we are investing in the hyperscalers. Exactly. This is it. If you've been waiting for AI that works for retailers and not just hedge funds, and it makes you a little upset that they have it and you want it, you don't have to be upset. this is your chance. So you can go to the link, guys, I sent in the chats from Will Rich. You can see it there. It's just above that IonQ with the crown comment from Uncompromised One. He says, thank you, Will, for the quantum. Of course, one of the top markets that we first added into the market network, you can kind of see on the screen here. You know, just one decision we made was to really stick with the quantum market, invest in it early. You know how many times over it pays? So much. And we have it in the market network here in this. So if you want the quantum markets early, like we started covering some of those stocks at $1 a share. Rigetti at $1, QBTS at $1. Rigetti at $36 today. And so if all this machine did for you was give you the confidence to take one solid trade a week, would it be worth it for you? If that's all it did. Awesome. Cool, guys. I appreciate you. And I hope you guys enjoyed and that you found this time. I mean, this time here was worth it for you. And that Erwin says, check in the you're going to go, Erwin. Awesome. See you there, Erwin, on the other side there. Elijah, we've been wanting AI for retailers. After all, we're investing. Yep. It's good stuff. So again, guys, as you know, every investor has two choices. You could stay ordinary or step into the tools that make them extraordinary. And I believe that the machine is that edge. And the edge belongs to those who take it. So it's there for you. Feel free. I would love to see you in our training session next week and give you a call. Talk to you guys soon. See you in the next video. Take care, guys. And Thad says, I just got the machine. Best decision ever. Thank you. Boom. Thad, let's go. See you. Bye now.